Hello and welcome to Agency Revolution's latest webinar. I'm Jason Walker, your host. Glad to see everybody. I know you're starting to trickle in, so we'll give you a few minutes to come in, but just know that we have a great discussion on tap. I'm really excited about our special guest, Samantha Russell, who's here with us today, and we'll do the intros very soon. But just to give people a little bit of the background, if you don't know, Agency Revolution is actually part of a much larger organization called FMG. And combined, we service the financial services sector. Think about wealth management, think about insurance, and all the different pieces that make up this big industry that we play in. FMG is the leading provider when it comes to digital marketing solutions to the financial services side of the world. And Sam can provide a little bit of that background as we get into it. But our company is over 400 people large, and we work with so many different financial services professionals. So bringing thoughts, ideas, technology, innovation together, what's working within each one of these industries, and then applying that for our sake to Agency Revolution and the property casualty insurance space is important and an advantage that all of you have if you're clients of ours. And then if you're thinking about solutions within property casualty on the technology side, this is the type of thought leadership that we bring to bear. So really happy that you're all here with us today. I'm going to go ahead and get started because we want to make sure that we have plenty of time for Samantha to give us all the learnings and education that we can apply to the P&C space. So again, I'm Jason Walker, president of Agency Revolution. Good to see all of you again. And today we're covering 3 ideas that change digital marketing. And we're going to apply some opportunities and things that financial advisors and others in the financial services space are doing. And Sam Russell is the one to help walk us through all of that. Before we jump in, just a couple housekeeping items, as you're probably used to at this point. One, if you have any questions for us, and thank you to all of you who have submitted questions as we have been coming up to this event. We've leveraged those questions so that we can build our content around this and make sure that we're answering as much as possible. But I know that through this conversation, you'll probably have certain things that you want to know, things that you might want to apply within your agency. Please make sure that you use the little widgets within Zoom that we're using today so that you can ask questions. Some of them we might answer through the back end. We have Ian back there working as he always is. So if you have questions about our product, services, solutions, you might get the answer pretty quickly. If not, we'll reserve those for the end and make sure that we cover everything within this roughly 45-minute time frame. There's also a webinar chat, so you can use that to say things about maybe what you're doing so that if we see that, we might use that information that you're sharing with us and pop that into our discussion. And then we're also recording this. And that's important too, because if you have to step out, and I see a lot of people will drop in their AI recorders now to watch later, just know you'll also get a recording from us when this is done. So you can take back all of this knowledge and apply it, watch it again and again, just so that you make sure that you can take those learnings into your agency. And then, as we always do, we have this really cool Yeti water canister mug thing that we're giving away that's branded just to make sure you get some AR swag. We have a cool little question at the end of this. Ian will present that. And then the first 3 people to answer the question correctly will get this in the mail, and we'll make sure that we have all of your information to send that over to you. And so here's the agenda, and we're not going to spend too much time on it because we want to jump into our conversation with Samantha. But we have 3 ideas that we want to present to you today, and that are working within the financial services industry for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses that are working with your customers, and ways to be able to leverage these 3 ideas to drive growth and retention within your insurance agency. So we'll talk about AEO. I know a lot of you know a lot about SEO, search engine optimization, but answer engine optimization is kind of the new enhanced SEO that we see being applied within search engines and AI chatbots. And we want to make sure that you are thinking about ways that you can apply this successfully within your agency. We're also going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. And I saw some skeptics that came through with some questions when we were asking you what you want to learn. And we're going to make sure that we dispel anything that you might have a preconceived notion about LinkedIn and what it's applicable for, because it absolutely can help drive your digital marketing and the solutions that you deploy within your agency. And we want to talk through some of those real world use cases and what's working in the industry. And also talking about referrals. I don't care which agency I talk to. I hear about referrals. It is still the driver of your business, whether you're working on the commercial line side or personal line side, just getting those recommendations so that you can bring in new customers. We know that the market is starting to soften. So right now is the time to take advantage of that. And Sam's going to share a couple of tidbits and tricks that we can apply for your insurance agency. Then we'll have the giveaway. We'll get into some Q&A, and this will be approximately 45 minutes just to make sure that we can give you some time back in your day. Before we start with that, I just want to remind all of you, if you are a prospect and you're just kind of looking around at the different technology and solutions, or if you're an existing client but you're interested in expanding your portfolio of solutions, you probably know something about Agency Revolution at this point. Our two core products are Fuse, which is marketing and communication automation, tied directly into whichever agency management system you have to ultimately deploy segmented communications at scale through automation. So it's pulling all of the information about the insured, bringing that into communication that feels very one-to-one to your customer, and ultimately helps to nurture, grow, and retain your client base year over year. The other piece that we have is the Forge websites, which is that 24/7, always on complement to your brick and mortar location that helps you to connect to your carriers, allows people to download specific forms and ID cards. It really does work on your behalf in a digitized fashion while you're sleeping so that your business can continue to remain up and running for all of your customers and your prospects. And then we have all those cool little add-ons to make sure that we are rounding out our all-in-one solution, whether that's business texting, do it for me marketing to help you drive better campaigns that are coming out of our Fuse product, local listings to have you covered across the internet for your business, reputation management, just to make sure that you have those ratings and reviews, NPS scores that are pouring in to continue to add to that credibility online, and then social media. We know that there are different social media components that can help drive from a Facebook perspective, LinkedIn, and even Instagram to help you have that conversation across all these omni channels. And that's really important for your insurance agency. We provide it all, connect right into your agency management system, and drive that success for your business. So again, I'm Jason Walker, president of Agency Revolution. I know a lot of you or most of you, so I'm less interesting than Samantha Russell, who is with us today, and is the chief evangelist for FMG, which is our parent company. And Sam, if you just want to give us kind of that background that you have, and I'll just watch, listen, and learn myself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and so glad to be here with all of you. So my background is, I guess it's been over a decade now, probably almost 12, 13 years. My late husband, Ryan, and I started a tech platform, a marketing tech platform to help financial advisors with their digital presence. So it was everything from websites to social media automation to content, email. And we were acquired by FMG in 2020, and we folded our technology into FMG. And ever since then, I have been the chief evangelist. And really, my dad made fun of me when I got that title, saying, like, we're Catholic. What do you mean you're going to be the chief evangelist? But what that just really means is a lot of tech companies have a chief evangelist, and it's the person who goes out and is talking about where is the puck headed with the way we're all doing business today, with the way prospects are going to find businesses, and helping you all understand what you need to know, doing teachings and trainings just like this, but then taking feedback from all of you and from what I'm learning back to our product and service team and building out products and services that make it easier for you to do what you need to do to grow organically. So I'm so excited to be here. A lot of what I'm going to share today, I've been sharing on stage at big national conferences. And so you're getting all the inside scoop on the latest of what you really need to know when you're thinking about this really broadly changing world of AI.
And I will say, I just pulled some quick stats because it's extremely impressive. And I would recommend anyone who's not already following Sam to do so. You have 54,370 followers as of 2 hours ago on LinkedIn, which is pretty cool. You were named Investment News 40 under 40, 10 to watch by the wealthmanagement.com, and you are a Think Advisor luminary, which sounds really cool, just the title itself. And I I can't believe we haven't done this already because we've been working at this great company for a few years now. And having us combine, come together to talk to the insurance folks on this call is, I think, really important. And so I am very excited, and we will absolutely have you back as many times as you'll come back, just because of the influence that you have and what you can bring to bear in this conversation. So thank you so much
Well,
for being
thank
here,
you.
Sam.
I feel so flattered.
All right, so some quick notes and tidbits just to get the juices flowing to get into those three ideas that are critical. One is 70% of Google searches are now ending without a website click, which means showing up in AI results is no longer an option. And I think that that's a staggering number because I feel like that happened somewhat overnight when you think about the evolution of technology and innovation and this whole AI wave that's just pushing things forward where the information and answers are at our fingertips. Does this data point surprise you? What are your thoughts around it?
I'm not surprised at all. I'd love to know in the chat how many of you see that number when you think about your own search behavior. If you're going to Google, actually, maybe you could tell me and Jason in the chat, how many of you now go to ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, or maybe you do search in Google, but you get that AI overview at the top of the page, and then that's it. It answers your question and you move on. I know for me, I am doing a lot more searching in these actual AI tools themselves, such as Claude, rather than starting in Google. But when I do, end up in Google Chrome, I usually ask the question and I'm just getting the answer at the top of the page. So Kelly said, yes, I do. Linda said, yes. Brandy said, use a lot of ChatGPT. Christopher said Google first, AI second. I usually search in Google, said wit, but then stop at the top of the page. So actually, just last week, Jason, we haven't had a chance to talk about this offline. Google announced that they are no longer within the next few months. You won't even see the blue links. So you will just get the AI overview. So they're
Wow.
following in the lead of ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity and Copilot, and there will be no more list of links. So that is a massive change. Now, when we think about the AI overviews, you can still see those like little links over on the side. But what this means is you need to have omnipresent information out there. So when people are asking questions about your business or they're looking for a business like yours, they can be served you up as the answer or your content as the answer. Even if they don't click on it, you have the opportunity to be mentioned. So we're seeing website traffic across the board, across all industries, down a tremendous, tremendous amount. We're going to talk more about that, but this is a change that's not going anywhere. So if you got a lot of business from organic SEO, organic search engine optimization, this needs to be something that's really, really on your radar.
Yeah, and I know at Agency Revolution for our Forge websites, we are already invoking AEO best strategies into the ways that we develop and write our content. And then using things like this next point, social media, to help drive the connectivity between sites to be able to build that juice, ultimately to leverage what AI is now presenting to us, which is question and answer type of information. And I will say there was one person that submitted a question or a comment, I would say more so, about LinkedIn specifically. So I'll give you the stat and then share with you the commentary, and maybe you can have a reaction to this. LinkedIn is now the number two AI cited domain. Your LinkedIn presence is directly influencing what AI says about your business. Someone submitted to us in the questions and comments leading up to this that they do not believe that LinkedIn itself is as credible because it usually is just a business to business networking tool. But the fact that it's now the number two AI cited domain has to play into that AEO strategy. Am I wrong?
You are not. So when you think about all of you, when you think about when you go, and somebody mentioned, Joshua said, I don't even know what half of these are. So ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, they are all the new places that you can go and search for information. But well beyond that, you can also interact with these AI tools. So you can say everything like, I'm a 40-year-old woman living in Pennsylvania and I have three kids. Make me a meal plan for the week. Or you could just say, what's the best place to order takeout in fill in the blank hometown. So it's both a search engine and a place to get answers and get very customized responses. And so all of these AI tools, you may hear them called LLMs, but LLMs, AI tools, it's the same thing. They are pulling from certain sources to deliver that information for you. And one of the really interesting thing is that all of them source LinkedIn at a very high rate. So when they're looking at where should we, if somebody's asking, is Samantha Russell a great marketing speaker that I should hire to come, coach my team or speak at my conference? Where are they going to go look? One of the top places they look is LinkedIn. So for many of you, LinkedIn might have been like a nice to have or an ancillary thing, right? Maybe you post a few times, you make sure that you have up to date information, but that's it. Now, these AI tools are directly pulling from there. So if you want people to know that you serve all of Minneapolis and that you can do property and casualty and you have all different kinds of insurance you can offer, you want that to be things you're talking about on LinkedIn so that the AI tools know that and can pair you with the right prospects.
Hmm. That's great insight. And I know that there was the original wave several years ago where people were encouraging agents to use social media, but I felt like like the commentary was there, but the actual execution and applicability was lacking. And so what you just shared, and I know you're going to walk through some examples for us, puts more of that tangibility around how do I use LinkedIn in order to be able to help drive business, whether that's to grow and or retain, which are both important for insurance agencies. We're going to bring this to life, everyone on this call, so that social media is not just thrown in there. Oh, and by the way, do social as well. We're getting rid of that commentary. The last piece that I'll bring up here is only 11% of insurance clients are ever asked for a referral, which we see it as like the biggest untapped growth channel still, even though referrals are the number one source. If you ask an agent, they will say referrals are my number one source of new business. That hands down is important. But the fact that we're not going out there and trying to pull that and solicit that is still untapped for us. And I know you're going to share a little bit around the referral side. Anything like an anecdote or nugget that you have to offer for us before we jump into some of your examples that you've got?
The only thing I want to mention about the referral part is that a lot of you are still thinking, I'm growing my business a lot through referrals and how do I get more people to refer their friends or family to me? Think of this new world we're living in as an old-fashioned referral of I tell Jason why I love my insurance agent that I'm working with. That's a one-to-one referral. But if I go to Google and I talk all about how Jason helped me and how my policy is so much more comprehensive and it's cheaper, and I give all these examples, that is a one-to-many referral where anyone can read it and feel that social proof of me saying he's legitimate, he helped me, he was great to work with. But also, these AI tools love these what we call digital referrals. So if I'm going on to ChatGPT and I say, hey, I'm looking for an insurance agent in Cleveland, Ohio, who's going to help me with X, Y, and Z. One of the top things it's going to do is go look at who has worked with real agents in this area who are, trying to solve for the same problems. It doesn't want to give anybody a recommendation for a business that it can't verify is legit. So Google reviews, any kind of testimonials, any kind of reputation management that you can do, those are very legitimately going to highly increase the likelihood that you are recommended. So I like to think of them as digital referrals.
That's a nice description. And I will say that parallels nicely with we have our Fuse marketing and client engagement automation tool. One of the most widely used campaigns by agencies that are leveraging that solution is the NPS scoring and ratings and reviews. So they're out there soliciting, to your point, doing this at scale is what's important instead of just like the one-to-one, which we're used to at networking events, et cetera. But being able to do this at scale in some systematic way that still feels very personalized is where we see agencies seeing the most success when they're out there doing this through automation. So I'm going to kind of just be the button clicker at this
Yeah.
point because you got a lot of really robust stuff to share with us. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
And remember, you're all going to get these slides, so don't feel pressure to write everything down or anything like that. Remember it. But this is from Neil Patel Digital, and this is just super interesting to me. So this is pretty recent data. As of last year, we were seeing that still 70% of people were using Google or traditional search engines like Yahoo, Bing to do their searching. But now that has dropped in less than a year to 40% of the traffic. So we see 36% of people, like many of you just said in the chat, are going directly to an AI tool. And then we see people who are using things like social media. So if I want to find a restaurant to go to, I'm visiting Italy and I'm like, okay, I'm in Lake Como. I want to find a restaurant. I might go straight to Instagram and start searching there because I want to see the visuals, right? So where people are getting their answers has drastically changed. And the percentage of people that are using these AI tools, it is predicted that by 2028, so in the next 2 years, more people will get their answers from AI than anywhere else. So this is why we're talking about this today. Okay.
And what's
Oh, go
you know
ahead.
what's cool about this? I was just going to make the remark because I remember doing this a decade and a half ago when we were convincing people that search engines were going to be the next big thing because people used to do more of the one-to-one handshaking, etc. But you started seeing diagrams like this where search engines were doing. This is just the next evolution of what you're demonstrating for us.
100%. And what I also wanted to mention though is it's not just, hey, which advice or which insurance agent or which financial advisor should I use, but let's look at the whole process, right? So there's discovery where someone's asking, hey, which insurance agent should I hire? Or I just moved to this town and I need to, get a new insurance agent. But then there's also the evaluation and selection side of it, where somebody might be referred to a couple different people by a few different friends, and they are going to start evaluating you and then also comparing you to other folks that they were referred to. So, hey, look at this person's website. Are they a good fit for someone like me? And describing it. Or, can you look at Walker Insurance versus Russell Insurance and tell me what are the differences? If you don't have good information available online, the AI tool will just say none found. They don't know. And what does that say to the consumer? It makes it seem like you might not offer that. So even if you do, if there's not an easy way for these AI tools to find it online, it comes up as a gap in what you offer. So we want to be sure that what's on our website, what we're posting on social media, what we're talking about online is really comprehensive so that when someone is doing the discovery, evaluation, and selection, they're getting the right information. And one other thing I wanted to mention is this is a really big pivot, but think about the fact that your website, your LinkedIn, your whole entire online presence now has two audiences. So, first, we want to appeal to the robots that are going to go and read it, scan it, and decide who to send to it. Then, when somebody actually lands there, we want to appeal to the humans that we need to convert. So, you really have to have two different strategies here. And that is something where all of us at FMG, Agency Revolution, we are very equipped to help you with. And that this is where working with a team like us really becomes, the secret card in your back pocket because it is a very specific strategy. So first, we want to make sure that the robots can read our site, scan it, that it's formatted in a way that it's giving up the information that they need when they need it. But then also that when an actual human lands, it's a great user experience. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that.
And I like that because what you're also saying in the industry, we go to these conferences and we sit there and we hear like where AI might be 30 years from now. But what you're doing is you're drawing the conclusion that it's still about content, it's still about usability, it's still about audiences. Yes, now we're framing ourselves more and more for a robot in addition to human, but like those actions that we're taking, they're not going away, they're just evolving. And I think that's important and great for our agents to hear because agents, you're doing a lot of things right. Don't stop that. It's just now what's the pivot, the enhancement, the little bit more evolved way to write and demonstrate, but you're not starting from scratch. And I like how you position that, Sam.
Good point. Good point. So when we think about, okay, well, I own Russell Insurance Agency, how likely is ChatGPT or Claude or Google Gemini's AI tools to recommend me versus my competitor. This is just a little rubrics of what the AI is actually scanning for. So you can see on the right, there's a score associated with each of these. I think at the very top, the number one thing you should notice is that if you don't currently have any customers talking about you and have real reviews online, you need to do that as soon as possible because 25% of the score of how visible you are and how likely you are to be recommended comes from that. If you've ever been on someone's podcast, if you've ever had a video on YouTube, anything where maybe you won a Best in State award or something like that, or from even the local Chamber of Commerce, any kind of earned media or third party mentions also really helps to boost how likely you are to be mentioned. And then this is one where, we've really doubled down on this here. And we want to help you with all of it, which is the AI ready website content. So making sure that your website is structured in a way that it's easy for the robots to scan it and pull out the right information to serve it up to somebody looking for you. That is something that we have spent a ton of time delving into, Jason, as you know. And this is something a lot of companies are just not, they want you to do it. They want you to go in and format the content and figure it out. This is something that we're going to do for you. And a big part of that is the next section, which is the FAQ and structured questions. So if somebody is looking for certain carriers or a new agent, they're going to have a lot of questions. And what do they ask Claude or ChatGPT? And then what is the answer? We know how to write that and format the website in a way that it's going to give that information in the way the searcher is looking for. So what this is basically telling you is you can use this rubrics to go back and assess how likely you are to actually be recommended when someone is looking for either information about insurance or a provider like you. And so, okay, we know all of these things. So what should you actually do? If you were to leave here tomorrow, what should you actually do? So the number one thing is first to compile a list of questions that your agency is asked by both clients and prospects. And this one's actually really fun. So what I like to do is I like to go to an LLM and I usually choose at least three. So maybe you go first to Google because you're going to get the AI overview at the top, then maybe ChatGPT, then maybe Claude. Those are the three most popular, and you're going to impersonate your ideal client, right? So, Jason, if I wanted to work with a certain segment of the population, if we go back to that Minneapolis example, I would go in and pretend to be the client that I want to hire me. And I would say, this is what I'm looking for. This is where I live. This is what the problems I'm trying to solve for. Which insurance agent should I work with? And it's going to only give you all a few names, right? So you're going to pretend you're your ideal client and ask the question. It's going to give you a few names, a few businesses. You're either all going to be on the list or not. If you're not, then the follow-up question should be, why didn't you recommend Russell Insurance Agency? What are they like? Why didn't you recommend them? And then it'll tell you. And then if they didn't recommend you, you could say, I'm actually that business owner. What should I be doing to be higher on your list of recommendations? And that is such an easy way to get some insight into that particular AI tool's way of deciding. And you're going to notice that if you try three different tools, they're all going to give you different recommendations and different reasons why they chose or didn't choose you. So that's the number one thing you should do. And Jason, I wonder if you've ever done anything like that to sort of impersonate who you want to target.
I have. So I've done it for myself personally. And then I would say that if you're a Forge client right now, you hear this all the time from our team. If you're not, you will be asked about niche audiences, the places that you go, whether this is on the personal line side, and we have clients that'll be like, listen, I really actually just work with the affluent client. Okay, great. What are those things that you do and offer and bring to bear that ultimately the search engines, the AI chatbots can present back? And so that's one way. Another way is if you're working on the commercial side, we have a lot of people who will say, I just have a niche around coffee shops in the greater Columbus community in Columbus, Ohio. Okay, what is it you're doing on behalf of these coffee shops? Who do you potentially work with currently, or who are you trying to go after? And what identifies that right risk appetite? And so as we go through those questions and we're building out that content, it's very specific to you and your agency. So we do it on behalf of our customers because we know that the way that you explain, and you just don't talk about auto policies because pretty much everyone provides them. Start digging into the details of the business that really drives your business. It's all niche all the time. And that's what we really push our customers to go towards.
I love that. I think one of the things I tell people all the time is if you're talking to everyone, AI will refer no one to you. So the more specific you can be, the more likely you are to start getting some of those referrals and becoming visible. So an easy way to do that is to create in the second column there, a frequently asked questions section of your website. So there's two places I like to put this. Number one, actually in the main navigation, just an FAQ page where it's going to have top questions that are going to be asked of you by prospects and or clients, and use the language that they would use. Don't try to make it all fancy or jargon. You want to really use their words and language because that's what they're going to type into these AI tools, and AI will pair you with them if you use their language. The second thing is if you have a blog post, if you have a services page, anywhere where you're getting more into the nitty gritty, at the bottom of those sections, you can also create an FAQ page that will give them more insight into those specific questions and queries that they have. So the reason FAQs are so important is they're created in a way that these AI tools like. They just want to know what is the question and what is a very simple answer that I can give to the person searching. So that is why these are so important. If you don't have them added at all, we would love to help you do that. But it is, I don't want to say simple, but an easy strategy, right? We don't want to conflate easy with simple. It can be, a technical thing, and we need to think about what are those questions, but actually getting them added with our platform is very easy to do.
And a lot of these email tools, so a lot of our agents are using like Outlook or Gmail,
Right.
and within them now there are AI tools. You could ask the AI tool within your email, tell me the top 10 questions I seem to keep getting in my email. And so it will scan and pull those back. And then that's a quick way to then port that over to that FAQ page. And that's something that our agents have had an aha moment because it feels like a lot of work if you don't take some of those shortcuts. And because these AI tools are now embedded in your email clients, use it and ask them, what are
I
you
love that
seeing in
idea.
all of my, yeah, that's
I
worked.
would love to know in the chat, have any of you gotten a new lead from ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini? Someone's coming in and saying, "Hey, I found you because I asked ChatGPT." Oh, Justin said he gets them daily. I love that. Justin, maybe you could tell us, is there something specific strategy-wise you've done? Like, do you ask for a lot of reviews, or do you have certain content that you're putting out, or have people told you what they're looking for? Brandy said no. Joshua said yes, ChatGPT specifically. So ChatGPT is the most used AI tool in the consumer world. From the B2B side, if you're targeting more businesses, Claude is used way more heavily. It's more regulated, more compliance. Justin said, I think it's tied to our Google reviews. So, yes, if you have a lot of Google reviews, you're going to be the darling of ChatGPT and these tools. So, an interesting thing is if we look at all in the financial advisor space, I'll give that as an example. Only 10% of all financial advisors have any kind of Google reviews at all or reviews in general. Yet, if we look at who is recommended by ChatGPT or Claude or any of these tools, 90% of the people that are recommended, the businesses, have a review of some sort. So we're seeing a very small portion of the advisor and agent community getting all of the recommendations from AI right now because they have the right things in place. So just doing some of these things that we have on the screen here is going to make a massive difference in how likely you are to be recommended.
Yeah, and just driving the conversions all together. And I will point out on this blog piece, a lot of our agents will come to us and like, I don't have time to develop and write blogs. I will say that Agency Revolutions developed an AI tool that helps specifically on this front because you are the expert and you still provide the oversight, but you can come up with the ideation, like what is it you want to talk about to the community so that then the search engines find you and AI chatbots find you. And then you can out pops a blog within roughly 30 seconds, and then you can go in and tweak it. But this is something that helps build that fresh content. And you, as the agent, are the expert here. So it's best for you to have that oversight versus someone just sitting there banging out blogs for you all day that might not know enough about your business. But you can, again, execute this through AI that's very personalized to you, the agency within your location. And again, all to help feature and focus on bringing more conversions through these AI searches. All right.
Great.
What about LinkedIn, Sam?
Yeah, so we can add FAQs to the website. We can create content through blogging. But as we mentioned earlier, one of the top sources that these AI tools are looking at is LinkedIn. So there's a few things that you can do, and we're going to go through them as we talk about here. But number one, how many of you in your LinkedIn profile just have something like insurance agent at and then the name of the company? That is very common, but yet we don't see that actually helping these AI tools connect you with the right prospect, right? So we're going to show you here in just a minute what you should do instead, because you want to be very specific in who you serve and how you help them. That's number one. The second thing is posting consistently. We've been talking about this forever in marketing for lots of reasons, but it tells the AI tools that you are a legitimate business that is out there in business. You know, you're currently working, you're active, all of that. And then the LinkedIn articles. So a lot of you may not be doing this, but you can actually take any kind of blog or blog content that we give you through Agency Revolution and just copy and paste it into a LinkedIn article. And LinkedIn articles are one of the top sources. So when we say like ChatGPT is looking at LinkedIn all the time of deciding who to recommend, it really loves LinkedIn articles in particular, because when it's on your blog, you own that website domain. So it sees it as you created this content. It's your own kind of, you have your own reason for putting it out there. It's self-serving. When it's a LinkedIn article, it sees it as more third party, so more objective, even though it isn't. As of right now, that's sort of how it sees it. So that makes a huge difference. So these are not posts, these are actual articles. And maybe if we go to the next slide, we can give some examples. We talked about that. Okay. So a lot of times that we will hear people say, well, no one's commenting or liking on my post, so I don't even know why I'm posting. It doesn't make any sense. But let's look at this scenario. Somebody goes to AI and they're looking specifically for a particular type of service provider, right? The AI then is going to go to LinkedIn and read all of the headlines, credentials, content, and activity for potential solutions they can provide to that query. And then it will verify with other signals. So things like Google reviews. Is this a legitimate business? Is it one that other people have used and loved? And then it will either give you up as one of the answers, the recommended businesses, or not. So this is why this is so important. So if you're posting a lot to LinkedIn, if you have LinkedIn articles, if you're being active, but you feel like you're not getting anything from it from the social media side, do not give it up. If in fact, maybe double down, because now in this new AI search world, it's more important than ever. All right. So here is an example of when we look at your profile, what you want to think about. How many of you, maybe you could tell us in the chat, have added like a banner image in the background or really updated your LinkedIn profile to be specific about who you serve versus maybe you could just say yes or no in the chat. No, I have not done that. Yes, I have. How many of you think like I could definitely update mine? Because what I see a lot is people, instead of having a longer descriptive title, right, Jason, they're just insurance agent or doing this in Minneapolis. So they're not as specific. So here's an example here. I exists so tech professionals don't have to stress about money. I plan for them. So he's being very specific in who he serves and how he helps them, right? So it's not just financial advisor in Silicon Valley. It's very, very specific. If we go to the next example, this will give you the actual formula of what you should do when you write these headlines, right? So again, the more general you are, the less likely you are to be chosen by AI as the recommended business that it sources. So instead of insurance agent at, put in the firm name, you want it to be CPCU, insurance professional for trucking companies, Greater DC. Instead of helping clients achieve their goals, it could be insurance specialist serving tech executive and business owners, Austin, Texas. Many of you I know like are in a location, but will say, well, we work with people all over the country. You always want to add the location tag because a lot of people are searching for location specific providers. And even if they aren't, the AI tools a lot of times assume that they are. And so they will only look for people in their given area. So that is really, really important.
And this plays off of the your point of like if you were to ask an AI tool, what could I do more of? My guess is the recommendation would be stop being so generic. Make sure that you add specific information about yourself that the AI tool, can pull back to rank you. Because you said there's only so many slots within an AI tool that they're going to show a certain number of agencies. You have to be more of the after than the before. And that's something that we can help you with if you're not already doing it yourself, but you absolutely need to shift the way that you're treating LinkedIn.
100%. So this is just some more examples about, you have 220 characters, so every word really needs to earn its place in order to keep it. I'm not going to spend too much time on this in the interest of time. We'll keep going, but you can refer back to these slides when you're writing your own headline. And we showed that one, so keep going. Okay, here's just another example. So in this one, helping 30 to 50-year-old business owners and those with equity comp build wealth, right? So he still also, by the way, puts co-founder at All Street Wealth. You do want to have your title of your business in there as well, because a lot of times people will be referred to your business and maybe you don't have a great business LinkedIn page, but you individually can do something with your personal page. So make sure that you include both. And Christopher just asked, are we talking about Google listing, Google business pages, or LinkedIn? The examples we're showing you right now are LinkedIn, but you want to do the same thing on your Google profile. So you want to make sure on your Google business profile, you're also very descriptive, just like this. But another piece of real estate a lot of you are not optimizing is that LinkedIn banner. So it's the image behind your picture. And it's gonna, we're all visual. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. People will read the banner before they ever go down and read the headline. So remember, we talked about having two audiences, both the humans and the robots. The headline is really for the robots. The banner is really for the humans. So if you've won an award, if you've been featured in certain publications, if you serve particular type of people, that's where you want to put it right here in your banner.
And that kind of keeps playing out here in your examples.
Yes. So just more examples. Again, here, if you have certain credentials that you want to mention, or if you've won certain awards, you can also put those in the actual title. But again, the more you can be descriptive of the problems that you're solving for a particular audience, the more likely you will be to be recommended.
So you don't want to list an entire resume?
No, you don't. And another thing that Joe, you can all go check out his profile. He did a great job. Is you really want to write in first person. So you want to be telling a story, not listing a resume, or as I like to say, an obituary. I read a lot of these that sound like you're dead. Samantha Russell graduated from Miami University in 2008 and da, da, da. Like you're not dead yet. You want to make a connection with people. Ultimately, at the end of the day, why does someone choose to work with Jason versus Samantha or Jason, versus the guy down the street? It's because of the connection we feel. We can trust the person. We feel like they get us, we're going to like working with them. A lot of us are selling similar products at the end of the day. So the story that you can make, the connection you can create is huge here. And so here are just some tips on how you could do that. Okay. I'm actually going to go into actual LinkedIn here now, Jason, in the interest of time, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to share my screen. If anybody wants me to pull up their actual LinkedIn, you can put that in the chat. Let me just pull this up and we can look at yours. But I have a couple pulled up that I want to show you all. You have to just put your URL in the chat in order for us to pull it up, by the way. Don't not because I can't click on your name. So you need to actually go to your LinkedIn and pull it up. So Jason, can you see Nick's here? Nick's
I
page?
can. Yes.
So you can see he has We Know All About Insurance. All About Insurance is actually the name of his business. He's got a great profile picture. By the way, a ton of research has been done. When you look at your profile picture, make sure you have teeth in your smile. That makes you more trustworthy and likable. And then you can see he has co-owner and vice president at All About Insurance. If I were Nick, I would update this a little bit more to say who does All About Insurance serve or who does he particularly work with. But in his about section, he's written it in first person, which I love. He talks a lot about his background, his unique perspective, why someone should want to work with him. And then look here, he has this featured section, which a lot of you do not have turned on. So, what this does is when someone comes to your page, and again, this might be the second thing they see if they go and research you on ChatGPT or do a Google search. So they're going to look at your headline, look at your page, and they're going to come down here. What services do you offer? And then featured is one of the top things they see. So he has chosen some of his best performing posts or things that maybe are all about his agency, speaking things he's done, and he's highlighted them here in his featured section. So you can choose anything you want to add to the featured section, and it kind of pins it to the top of the page. So think of this as just another mini or micro website that you're sharing more information about yourself. But what you have featured is more likely to get pulled as a source. So if you don't have that turned on, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to pull up my page here. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, I'd love to connect with all of you. It's Samantha C. Russell. So you can see my page right there. Feel free to connect with me. And then if you have any follow-up questions after, you can reach out. But you can see this little editing tool. So when we click on that, that'll take us there, or we can click here, add section. And all we're going to do when we click add section is we see all the different places where, we can add different things here. And let's go under, you can obviously update, where did the featured go? Oh, see, they changed it on me. Hold on. Oh, I should mention too, if you don't have a custom button, see down here at the bottom, you can actually have a link. So you can take people directly to your website. You could have your custom button say, get a quote or book an appointment or get a free quote, whatever you wanted to say. So you can see up here the different things you can choose and it will say that. And then you can take them to a scheduling link. You can take them to a website URL. So if you don't have that turned on, that is a really, really important thing to do because it follows you around LinkedIn. So anytime you post on anybody's site, if you leave a comment on someone, it will be there. Okay, this add a section button disappeared for me. Let's see here.
Sam, can you ask, so as if you were to add your button, you could send them potentially into a referral page? Is that
Yeah,
also
you
possible
can
for
choose
agents? Okay.
whatever you want to send them to. I'm going to try to find somebody that has a lot of people don't have that CTA, as I call it, at the top. I'm going to see if I could find somebody that does. Okay, here. You see how she has visit my website, this little blue button?
Yeah.
So Kyle does not have one. Brendan does not have one. Once you've added that, everybody, it's going to follow you like this. So on the feed, or anytime anybody comes across your name, they can click that visit my website or book an appointment or get a free quote, and they will be taken directly to whatever page you want them to. So just some quick tips. One other thing I want to mention, I'm going back to the All About Insurance. So we showed you Nick's profile on his individual page, and then this is the business page. For all of you listening, you want both. You want to make sure that you have set up and optimized a personal page as well as a business page. And again, when we think about how is AI finding information, pulling it, and deciding who to source, You want to have both. You want to make sure that you put where you're located. You want to make sure that you've got information about who your company serves. And then again, anything you want to highlight or feature at the top. Um, we have even more ideas to share. I'm going to just go into the slide deck here and end with the third one. Let's see, which is creating a referral and review process. So maybe Jason, take a sip of my water because I've been going so fast. You could talk about this.
Yeah, and this is one that is fairly quick to execute. And what you want to do is establish a dedicated referral page. So on our Forge websites, we have a page that is asking for reviews and asking for, would you refer me to a friend or a business? That form, actually, we can structure that from scratch, but we have a dedicated page so that people can fill it out, enter that information, as well as leveraging the AMS data that you have, which you see in the middle. So if you have a marketing communication platform that's tied to your management system, we actually have that called Fuse. You can send out targeted campaigns to your existing customers, especially those that have been providing good NPS scores, ratings, and reviews, and ask them for referrals. But you're doing that at scale because you're working with hundreds to thousands of clients, and you can create catered campaigns for that. And you can also send them back to your website. And then finally, respond quickly. So you want to make sure that the process that you have up and running, a lot of our agents do this already, and they are just trained and know that if someone is submitting some kind of referral, rating, review, that you take that and you make it actionable. Because again, all of that good content, as you push that publicly or you start working with those referrals, it ultimately helps the scoring that we've been talking about and the ability for search engines, AI chatbots to find you. Having a good referral and review process is fairly quick and easy. And we watch a lot of our agents put in the bottom of their signature lines an email, if you want to refer or rate and review me. Like that's a link that can then take back into your website or wherever your destination might be. Those are quick hit wins in order to be able to help increase those conversion opportunities. We are in a market that's starting to soften. We're all feeling it. We've dealt with a hard market for 6+ years, and that's really focusing on your existing customer base. Now it's about taking care of your customers while adding more new customers. These are quick wins and ways to do it. That's really why we wanted to have Sam on here to talk through some of these strategies to drive those leads, that growth orientation. That's what's important for us.
Great point. Justin just asked a great question. He said, I'm really curious about business and personal pages on LinkedIn because I've been on many marketing webinars where they say only have a personal. That is true that personals perform better. People will always connect with other people more than they're going to connect with the business. But now that we're in this world of AI search, if somebody doesn't use your name, but they use your business name, and you don't have a LinkedIn page talking about your business, and the AI tool can't find third-party data about you, you could lose the ability to be one of the recommended businesses because it doesn't know you're legit. So AI has really upended the way we were thinking about this before and changing the game. And now you do want both. Okay, I think we have a poll, and we are right at the 50-minute mark. So
Yeah,
let's.
this is when Ian steps in. Ian, you want to take over, my friend?
Hello, yes. Thanks for bringing me into the fold. But awesome presentation so far, guys, and thank you, Samantha, for all the great insights for agencies here. I'm gonna go ahead and run a poll, so feel free to answer that. We'll leave that up here for a bit. And we have some giveaways for you as well. So to take them with you, like Samantha said, we're going to send you a copy of the slides so you can kind of take a deeper dive into what she brought forward. And so you can kind of see some of the stats and findings and just look over those examples so you can follow along. We're also going to send you a digital marketing success checklist. This is going to include takeaways from today's webinar as well as additional content to just give you more context behind what we're talking about and an actual checklist you can click through and kind of knock out those foundational pieces as well as a more advanced next steps you can take. And this is what everyone's here for, right? We're gonna give away some Yeti mugs today with a little handle on it. I know it's, summertime, so you're probably traveling. It'll be nice to have one of these. So get your typing fingers ready. In the chat, we're gonna have a question for y'all, and whoever the first three to answer it first will get that Yeti prize. So Jason, let's show them what the question will be. And here's what you'll win. So, summertime Yeti. So get ready. Who is credited for inventing the light bulb and having that first light bulb moment? Let's see what we got. Oh, all right.
I
We
like
get
Whit's answer,
there,
Samantha Russell.
there we go. All right. Well, we might have to throw her in as a fourth, but we have Carol, Dennis, and Becca. You guys are too quick on this one, so I love it. We wanted to make it nice and easy. We got some Teslas in there. I know there was that rivalry between Edison and Tesla. So, but awesome. So Carol, Dennis, and Becca, we've got a Yeti with your name on
And Whit, you're my winner in my heart.
it.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. I don't know if there's any questions. I actually have to jump because I'm about to go deliver another presentation, but I will leave you in the good hands of Jason and Ian. And thank you all so much. I hope you learned at least one or two things that can help you as you're thinking about organic growth and this new world of AI referrals. And we would love to work with you at Agency Revolution.
Thank you, Sam. Really appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you so much,
absolutely.
Sam. Have a good presentation on your next one. And
Thanks.
as Samantha said, we'll go ahead and we have some questions already queued up, so Jason and I can kind of tackle those. But in the meantime, if you're at all interested and you want to set up a consultation with our team, you can go ahead and scan this QR code, or I'll put in a link here where you can go ahead and book a live demonstration. If you're old school like me and you don't know, you're not up with the times with the QR codes, right? So feel free to go ahead and do that. We also do have some exclusive uh, discounts just for this month that our sales team will tell you about. So anyway, aside from all that, we do have some questions. So, Jason, let's see if we can answer them without Samantha here,
Well,
right?
I was going to say this will be an interesting social experiment and say a lot about us versus Sam is the drop off that we start to experience after she leaves.
We're not going to be offended. That's okay. But
No, we won't.
we did have some great questions, so hopefully you guys are still around. So Kelly had a great question earlier. Is posting actual posts on LinkedIn or the actual business information on LinkedIn what AI is looking for? So, Jason, I'll pitch that your way, and I do have some thoughts that I did share with her as well. But if you had any initial thoughts on that,
Um, is the question like either
like
or?
which one is AI looking at the most? Like, what should she focus on?
I'll go back to some of the learnings that were provided by Sam, which is um, you should be posting articles. You should be posting authentic first party, meaning you wrote content, and you should have information in your profile about your business. So it's actually an all of the above. It's a combination. And I don't know if anybody remembers back in the day when search engines would never tell you what technically you're supposed to do. They would just say all of these factors help you rank in the search engines. There's some of that associated with the new AI world. Even though, to Sam's point, you can put in and say, okay, why aren't you listing me as the top three recommendations when I asked about the agency in my community? Why aren't you telling me? And so you'll get some of that feedback. You're not saying enough. You don't have information in your LinkedIn profile, and you don't post
Mm,
anything when it comes to content. But I would say all of the above. And the agencies that we work with, we're helping to bring content into your universe within LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And that helps to kind of check the box of some of that article creation that you need to provide or posts that you need to provide. We're helping to bring that forward. What's specific to you and personal to you is where you would want to focus your time.
exactly. Couldn't have said it better, Jason. And just to add to that slightly, if you have that dedicated content calendar, there's going to be those times where you have those gaps of, well, nothing's really going on this time of year, or maybe you're not attending any events. Our social media add-on really helps because it'll actually have pre-written content from our content team, and it's designed to be more seasonal and timely, and it supplements those personalized posts that you're already sending out into the world.
That's
Gives
right.
you a little time, work off of your plate to have to think about, oh, I want to talk about, education on insurance, or maybe it's just a fun newsletter you want to share. So that's just something to add to that. And then Peter had a question for us, and Peter is a brand new Agency Revolution client. So thank you so much. Welcome. He just switched to AR and had a great experience in onboarding. He's just finishing it up, it is what it sounds like. But he wants to know, and I'm assuming it's going to be part of like AEO wise, what's set up by Agents Revolution versus like what are the steps that he needs to take next to really stand out online?
Yeah, so I'll give my perspective, and then
Mhm.
Ian, you helped run onboarding for a
Yep.
time, so I know you've got it too. But we intentionally create the setup and launch process to take most of the work off of you. And as you think about from a website perspective, you need that thing to start to develop its real estate within search engines and now AI chatbot, et cetera. And that can take a few months in order to start to see yourself take and then get the benefit of the results a few months later. And so I would say right now, be patient as you are starting to build out what to do next. That's where we focused on in this presentation, and we would say it to you probably when we have our next touch base with you. The blogging feature within the Forge platform, which helps to write blog fresh new content based on your interests, areas that you're going after, risk appetite. And so start thinking about the next few months of how you're going to have that content generated. But again, we have an AI tool that helps do the majority of work for you. You just need to provide the oversight to make sure what comes out sounds like you, is you. You might make a couple tweaks to the content, but it's a very rapid way for you to get content that is personalized and specific to you. And then as you continue to add maybe niche lines of business as you grow as an agency within our platform, and maybe you get a new carrier appointment and you're focused on a specific type of risk, make sure that you have a representative page for that. Make sure that you have a form associated with that. And so we help you do that. We're not going to just tell you to take that on yourself. But the point is anywhere where you start to evolve, make sure that feedback comes back to us so we can represent that on your behalf on the site.
No, that's awesome, Jason. Appreciate that. And just to add to it, like you said, I did run the onboarding team for a bit of time back in the day. So I might know some of you from then. But I would just add to that when you're coming into Agents Revolution for the first time, what you're getting is a solid foundation to start from, whether you've been established or whether you're a newer agency. We have all of the best practices in place, especially for like the Forge website side. We just actually a few months ago unveiled the Forge FAQs feature that will automatically add detailed FAQs to those pages. And if you have Forge Premium, you also have the option to add your own custom ones right there on the coverage pages. So we are kind of doing that back end work. We're also, doing the things like website schema that you might not even you're probably saying, what is that? You don't need to worry about it. Things that our team is doing for you. But then as far as to add to what Jason said, you can take those additional steps to just like SEO, you're taking these additional steps for the AEO side, like blogging, like LinkedIn articles like Samantha added. And these are going to just expand where your foundation is even further. So as you get launched on, the website and or the marketing automation, whichever piece you have, you'll start to see those increases hopefully in, engagement with your clients, but also engagement through AI referrals and people being able to find you through there. So you want to take the foundation that Grace and the team are setting up for you, and you can kind of as you go over time, you don't have to do everything at once, but like take these tidbits here and there, these strategies, and start acting on them and building dedicated content calendars to schedule social posts and whatnot, blog articles, and you'll see those results over time. It's not a light bulb moment switch instantaneously, right? It's something that'll change and work for you over time. So,
I'm gonna answer a quick question because I'm just kind of
mhm.
scrolling through. Evan makes a really good point. Evan Deans, should we be following our clients on Meta LinkedIn from our business profiles? Yes. It's almost like if you were to start LinkedIn day one, you have no connections, etc. That's going to be really hard for in this day and age of AI and people using it to perform search and who's the best agent in my neighborhood or whatever. Um, if you have nothing behind you, you're not following, you're not connected, you don't have any kind of content build up, it looks kind of like a vacant business online. So you won't get referred. So yes, once you start to establish, it's almost like the old linking strategy where they're like link to edus and .orgs as a website because that helps to build link juice. In a similar fashion, you can build your credibility pretty quickly on your profiles of some of these social sites so that you then become that source and people will follow you back and they will connect with you and that builds your network pretty quickly digitally. I wish we had Sam on here because I'm curious as to how she's 50,000 plus at this point, and that's kind of a short amount of time when you think about it. But there are strategies to build that out. You should start with that. So I like the question, and I thought it was really relevant to the conversation.
Yeah, having a good gauge on the people that you're working with, especially even like chambers of commerce or even business partners where maybe you have mutual clients and you refer between each other. You can kind of follow along with them, but also think about commenting, reposting, and also just engaging with other posts of people that you're following. And one of Samantha's great tips, and she'll say it better than I could, ever could, but just kind of reiterate what she would say is right before you go to post on LinkedIn, you just go in and engage with other posts out there to kind of get LinkedIn thinking about your business profile, or if you're going through your personal profile. Go through, people you're following and just engage on those posts, make some comments, even just some reactions will help. And what LinkedIn will do is look at that and be like, oh, looks like this agent's really active. Cool. I'm going to maybe promote them on more feeds. So that's just one little quick little tidbit that I know I've heard Samantha say on other presentations. So give that a shot before you make a post. Try that out, see if it, and then slowly build over time your following. And even if if you see maybe like a business partner, they're celebrating their 100th year in business or whatever, just write a little comment, build those connections. And I think it might go beyond the internet, right? You might actually build a business partnership with them and get to know them further. So that's what I wanted to add. All right. I think
Yeah, any
that's
other
all I had on
questions?
the written. Oh, Kristen just had a
I
question.
just scrolled through webinar chats. I didn't see any new. I see that we answered quite a bit. Um,
Christopher had a good question here. If you follow all your clients, wouldn't that allow people to see your client list? That's an interesting
yeah,
one.
it is, and someone could poach that. So you're absolutely right. I will say that I, as a professional, am associated with all of my clients, plus friends, plus business partners, etc. So yes, I mean, someone could start to scour and try to figure it out. But that then goes back to, are they satisfied? Do you have loyal clients? All of that, which also helps build. It's not just about someone, I would assume, calling into your customer and saying, "Hey, I'm better." Um, yeah, that can happen. So you do open yourself up to some risk, but you know your relationships better than we do. But if they're strong, solid relationships, you believe and know that you provide the best services and products, then you got to weigh.
Yeah, and then just to wrap things up, Kelly did have a quick question, which I think I'll follow up with you, Kelly, just to make sure. I'll check with Samantha, but she asked if what Samantha shared today are all of those available through the free version of LinkedIn or the paid version. So, Kelly,
You can
I'll
definitely, I will just
oh, if
comment
you know,
quickly because
if you know.
I use LinkedIn fairly heavily. You don't need to pay in order to be able to customize your profile, like to have the background image, to have some kind of tagline about yourself. Like that's all stuff that LinkedIn, I don't know, they gamify everything. So once you fill out the next profile piece of information or change your background, it'll say that you're now 25% of 100% of the way there because you've done these things. Now add your last five positions and then you get scoring. So if you just follow the prompt of LinkedIn, you can cover a lot of that. On the button, I am not sure. I would have to
Hmm.
check. I am a paying customer of LinkedIn professionally on my own. I choose to do that. That gives me the opportunity to perform outreach without getting barred or blocked or whatever. So it allows me to write personalized messages instead of trying to shrink things into a certain format with only 200 characters that I can type. Like it's more about the outreach that you can perform. That's why you pay for some of those other services. But to be able to dress up your profile, to be able to add articles that you might link to or pages that you put on your website, like all of that you can do without paying.
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of opportunity you have. The main thing is set up that foundation, build that profile up like Samantha showed you, and start using those LinkedIn articles. And that's your starting point. And if you find you're running up against those barriers and it's like, hey, there's a paywall for this little feature, if it makes sense in that time and you're like, hey, I'm ready to expand, great, go for it. But yeah, it seems like most of it should be, available to you on the free version, which is great.
You're welcome, Kelly.
So
Thank
awesome.
you,
Well,
Peter. Appreciate the feedback.
yeah,
Yeah, it
thanks for
looks
everyone for
like,
sticking around a little
yeah.
longer here. We still have 50 diehard fans here. So
It's either that
Jason,
or a
any
bunch of AI recorders, Ian. I
oh
would
boy, I hope
could
not.
be that.
No, but no, it was great to join on this one as a little sidekick. So appreciate you, Jason, and we again thank Samantha for taking the time to really show some of her insights and knowledge that she's gained over the years. But Jason, last words over to you.
You're welcome, Heidi. And I would just say if we've had the screen up, so you've probably exhausted it or whatever. But if you do want to reach out and have a conversation, learn about what we provide so that we can help you through some of the navigation and the evolution towards AI plus, please feel free to do so, whether you give us a call, send an email, scan that QR code, takes you to a landing page. Any of those places you can submit to have a call with our team. We are not pushy people. We just want to make sure that you are educated on what we've got. Also, know that a recording of this is coming to you probably within a day or so. And so you'll have this entire presentation. And then we're going to keep doing more of these. We'll bring Sam back because she's such a great guest and has a lot of good insight that's practical and tangible instead of us just talking about things that are 30,000 feet and you walk away not knowing what to do with it. We just never want to do that. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the vouching for us, Peter. We will be back with more. I'll leave that to you, Ian, when you set us up with our next webinar. But thank
Stay
you to all of
tuned
you.
for next month.
All right. Have a good one.